Sometimes you may need to include a value or values in a string. We'll take a look at a few ways of doing that today. We'll start off by creating a constant called label, and label will say steps today with a colon and a space. Now we'll define another constant called steps, and we'll set this equal to a random number. Then we'll say let summary equal label plus steps. And you'll see here that we'll get an error. It says binary operator plus cannot be applied to operands of type string and int. So Swift correctly inferred that steps was an integer, and it's saying that we can't add labels and steps together because they're two different types. Label is a string and steps is an integer. We can force this to work actually by explicitly making an instance of the desired type. In this case, we'll make steps a string by wrapping it like so. So we're going to say string and then wrap steps in a pair of parentheses. Now you'll see that this works. So we can run it and we'll see a summary right here. So steps today, that's label, steps, the integer is here, and it says steps today is 8,432. We can even print this out over here. So we could say print summary, and we'll get the same effect. So steps today, 8,432. Great, we were able to combine a string and an integer in one summary. So this works fine, but there's actually an even simpler way of including values in strings. We'll comment all of this out for now, and we'll come back to it in a bit. Let's define a few new variables. So we're going to say friends is equal to 3, let extra guests equal to 2, and a friends string is going to say friends were invited. And right here, we want to include the value of the number of friends, in this case 3. But if we just write this friends constant over here, then we're going to get friends, right? Oh, sorry, let me print this. If we were to print this out here, we'd get friends were invited. But we don't want it to say friends, we want the value of our friends constant to be displayed instead. For that, we put a backslash and a set of parentheses, and inside here, we can pass in our friends constant. Now when we run it, we'll get 3 friends were invited. We could even do a floating point calculation this way. So let's say let total guests equal, and then the same thing as before, a backslash parentheses, and we'll say friends plus extra guests. Total people are coming. And now instead of printing this friends string, we can print out the number of total guests. And when we run this, we get 5 total people are coming. And in case it's not clear, the way that we got 5 over here is because it did 3 plus 2. So the value of friends plus the value of extra guests inside this pair of parentheses. This method of including a variable inside a string is called string interpolation. Let me just write that out here. Interpolation. So in summary, we can include the value of a constant or a variable inside a string using string interpolation, which is just a backslash followed by a set of parentheses. Now let's go back to this example up here. Knowing what you know now, how would you go about doing this in a neater way? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. If you want to figure it out for yourself, you can pause and come back, but I'm just going to show you the solution right now. So you could keep this summary over here, but I'm just going to erase it. I'm going to bring steps up here, and I'm going to say steps today, backslash parentheses, and then pass in our steps constant. Now instead of printing summary, we can just print label, and we'll get steps taken today, 8,432. So same output as before. All right, hope you learned something today.